The smile factor, we mentioned at one of the t-shirts, smile and hit it a mile. As simple as this is, and how many times have we seen players who we train with, they're walking into the tunnel or they're standing on that mound as if it was Judgment Day, as if, you know, the man upstairs was standing next to them deciding today who's going to hell and who's going to heaven. As teachers, we really have to give them perspective, right? This is about getting them to understand that this is still a game, and even at the major league level, the better players who perform at that level, where there's certainly pressure and anxiety, still play the game as if they were 7. And think about it for some of the high school players that you're working with, to get them to understand and get them to relive the days in which they were 7 years old, right? When they would walk around all kind of goofy and everything. They had the smile on their face. They didn't care about college. They didn't care about statistics. They didn't care about the travel team. And many times the beginning of that is getting them to learn how to smile again when they're playing. We see this with the young ladies all the time. They walk in here with these beautiful smiles. They have no care in the world. We put a bat in their hand and all of a sudden, right, it's as if somebody said, let's have stress, let's have anxiety, and let's take all the fun out of the game. And the same thing on the pitcher's mound. We don't see a lot of fun. We don't see the smile once they're actually on the field. You as the teacher, right, if you're walking around with no smile and grumpy, and if you're walking around even as a coach thinking that this is really life and death, that body language that you're providing is going to be counterproductive. And again, as simple as, hey, Sarah, okay? And get them, even if it's a forced smile the first, second, or third time, or if they see you actually smiling during the session itself. But at some point, you've got to walk over, right? I mean, Manny is always smiling. I mean, this is the ultimate guy who realizes that he can play this game still as if he was 7 years old. And get them to understand, hey, Manny or Billy, whoever that player is. Remember when you were 7 years old? You know, the 13-year-old will kind of look at you and say, yeah, I kind of remember that. Well, let's see if we can take this next at bat. Let's be goofy. Let's have the smile because, again, if we have a genuine smile, it's feel good. We know therapeutically, right, the advantages of laughter. Laughter is probably one of the best things that you can do, whether you're dealing with occasional depression or just simply trying to get out of a rut. And again, the beginning of laughter is the smile. And when you're smiling, it's very difficult to have a lot of that negative talk that we're trying to get rid of. So the power of the smile becomes tremendously important, and really we call the F factor, right? F factor as in the fun factor. Let the players understand, and you can't just walk around and tell kids to have fun. All right, Johnny, let's just have fun. All right, well, how do kids have fun? We mention this many times in our coaching seminars. Children have fun. You know how a 7-year-old has fun? Is when they take this bat and they put the ball in play. And you know how pitchers have fun? When they take this ball and they throw a strike. That's more of a function of developing their skills. But as the players get older, they'll have better awareness and they'll have better physical skills if you can get them to play again like they were 7. They're not going to be as tight. And we certainly know that the tighter a player is, both physically and mentally, it's going to affect their play. So again, play the game like you were 7. Or if you're working with 25-year-olds, play the game as if you were 12. Or if you're working with a 9-year-old who now all of a sudden is going to be playing on travel ball. Hey, Billy, remember when you were here for Born to Play and you used to goof around and roll around on the, you know, all the time on the turf, and you always were smiling and whatnot, and you weren't really thinking too much about hitting? Let's see if we can play the game again like you were younger. Let's play the game, and these are probably 2 great examples of players who are still out there really enjoying and being in the moment. And again, being in the moment, what does that mean? They're here now. They're not thinking about tomorrow. They're not trying to forecast the future. And they have really no memory of the last save that was blown by a Mariano Rivera or Manny Ramirez coming up, and the fact that he struck out 2 times before. His ability to flush, his ability to really play the game as if he was 5 or 6 years old again, and the fact that even though he had 2 strikeouts or Mariano had some bad outings, the routine that you see both of them go through is the same routine, the same A, B, C, and hit, or Mariano Rivera looking down and just getting into that rhythm and always having the same self-talk, knowing that I've got to quickly change the channel if I start wandering. This is what we have to teach our young players.